Okay, so I saw this months ago, but basically in this video, she's talking about the Ariana Grande remix of The Boy Is Mine with Brandy and Monica, and she said that she wishes that it would have just been them because she feels like Ariana can't hang with them vocally, and then one of the guys says that she basically is a better vocalist than Brandy and Monica. And I don't know how Mariah Carey got brought up into this, but he said that she's a better vocalist than Mariah. And, you know, the girl in this video was like, no, Mariah is definitely the better vocalist and everything. So quick thoughts on that and everything. I think the Brandy, Monica, Ariana thing is personal preference. I love Brandy. She's one of my favorite singers. So, you know, that's kind of my thing there. And she's definitely not a better singer than Mariah. I love Ariana Grande. I've been following her since the beginning of her career. She's one of my favorite pop girls right now. Love Eternal Sunshine Down. But, you know, after I got into Mariah and just saw everything she could do with her voice, her technique, her range, her musicality, she's way above Ariana. I think she's the best vocalist of all time. People can debate her and Whitney. I'm fine with that, but, you know, Ariana's not on the level, and Ariana would agree with you. So this kind of just led me to bring up engagement farming and everything, and I bring up this post even though I saw it months ago because I was just thinking about this, but I just feel like it's got so bad whenever we talk about the music industry and just even in other channels like in sports, like think about First Take if you're familiar with that show. Like half of it is just them saying hot takes because, okay, we want to get engagement on social media. We want people to talk about our show. So we just say stuff that is not really factual and stuff that we know is going to piss people off. So we ultimately get that engagement. And I think sometimes with the engagement farming, they don't even really believe what they're saying. They just want to kind of get the traction and stuff like that. And if it keeps doing well, like it's doing for First Take or all these other platforms, then why stop it? We're just going to keep saying stuff that we know is going to piss people off. And I feel like a lot of it is just not coming in good faith, wanting to have an honest conversation. We just want to irritate people. So I think that's the difference between giving your opinion that's well thought out, that's well nuanced, that you have multiple points on to make, versus just saying something and not really having a whole lot to back it up. So I think that's the difference between the engagement farming and just giving your honest opinion, to be clear. I'm just tired of people like this because it's one thing to say like this is going to be a hot take because you know going in that, yeah, it's, you know, your opinion, it's probably going to piss people off, but you're prefacing it with that, you know, people aren't going to agree. I think there's a difference with that though. I think that that's fun to kind of hear people's hot takes and whatever, and like it is what it is. Versus this engagement farming and stuff like that, like it just gets tired. It's all about the engagement and it's not about having something that is so well thought out that you've done your research behind it and that you can have, you know, real reasons as to why you think that way. They're just making BS up. They're getting in front of the mic. They're saying it every week. They get the engagement and it's like, okay, we got the engagement. We got the money. We did what we needed to do. And it's not rooted in having an actual interesting music conversation. And so yeah, I think it's just tiring and everything comparing Mariah to Ariana. Like, they have done that since Ariana started. Isn't it getting tired now at this point? Anybody who knows music knows that Mariah is the better vocalist. And I want to make a video kind of just talking about music conversations that I'm tired of having because there's just certain debates that get brought up every single week that I just think are really tired and I'm over talking about. Another thing that's really frustrating is whenever people kind of just like fit something in their narrative the way that they want to say it and don't actually look up the facts and then they just spew BS, and then whenever people kind of correct them on that narrative, then they want to be all willfully ignorant and stuff like that. It's just really frustrating overall to see, especially if you have a platform, you have an audience that's watching you and putting out misinformation like that just for a bunch of clicks and engagement. It just doesn't sit right with me overall. Look at something like the Shade Room, for example, and you can just see the misinformation that they spread on a daily basis. It's certain that, you know, celebrities are paying them to put out certain narratives and all that stuff, and they're spewing a lot of homophobia, transphobia, and I unfollowed them years ago. They ended up posting one of my tweets, which I don't know how because I haven't blocked, but yeah, I just think that we have to do better in regards to that. I hate the Shade Room. I hate what they stand for. Same thing with neighborhood talk and all that stuff. Just very low vibrational. In general, I just think it's a lot more interesting where we're having conversations that are new and fresh and stuff like that. Even if it is something on a popular topic, you can tell that they both went in, they researched, and then they have their own perspective, and hearing someone else's perspective that is valuable in it, and they kind of have their own, you know, take on it. I think that that is super helpful and super interesting to digest in, rather than a lot of these, you know, places having the same tire takes over and over and over again. These men grew up with Mariah. You're telling me all these years of seeing her perform, of hearing her songs, having an idea of what she can do, you really think Ariana's the better vocalist? I could get people my age thinking that, you know, if you grew up with Ariana's music, if you're not familiar with Mariah's catalog. But for them to say this, I just felt like was really ignorant all across the board. I think that there were some bad takes on that and everything. And I don't know. I just want better. I want better conversations. I want better people to be having these conversations. And I just wish that everybody realized, hey, we don't need to make a podcast. Everybody thinks that their opinion is so important. And it's really not. Like, I'm just tired of people talking about stuff that they really have no idea about, and they're talking just to talk. They're wasting people's time. We see this here. Another show is The Breakfast Club, for example, and every time that they go to interview artists, it's like they don't do their research beforehand. Like Chloe Bailey was asking, like, what is your favorite song on my album? And he said Have Mercy, and she was like, Have Mercy's not even on the album. So not even doing your due diligence and all that stuff, all of it creeps through, and it's just tiring. But yeah, I think engagement farming, it has to go. And also on Twitter, seeing that as well. People do that all the time with the blue checks just because they want a little money to roll in and everything. Have I been guilty of falling for this? Absolutely, sometimes, because I'm just like, really, why would you say that? But I mean, if you're on Twitter long enough, then you know what engagement farming is, and you know exactly what people say to, get certain reactions and stuff like that. And also, it's good to make videos on and talk about it and everything like that, and to give my perspective. Some people are doing it for the engagement farming. Some people are just genuinely sharing their opinion out there, and they want to know what people think about it. I've shared my opinion out there and saw what people thought about it, and it is what it is. But let me know what you guys think about this whole engagement farming thing, because it's been going on for a while, but I just wanted to talk about it, and also what you think about the topic at hand. But let's continue that conversation.